Hello everyone, I'm Pure Light. I love Jesus and I love playing Minecraft, and so I'm going to do some mining and some crafting and some talking about Jesus. It's great to have you along with me. Let's go. Okay, are you going to be yellow? Great. Now let's make... You can be blue. Now let's see if you and you make a baby. Yes, purple. Brilliant. Hello. I'm just getting my sheep organised, ready for the automatic wool farm I'll be building later. You'll see why I decided to do a sheep farm when you see the verse that we're going to be looking at today. Come on, let's go and have a look. Let's hop over here and indoors. And let's see, don't need that dye anymore. Here we are. Today's book is... This is when Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. John 10, verse 11. We'll be getting back to the sheep in a little bit, but they aren't the only ones I've been wrangling. I've also been wrangling some villagers too. I thought I'd get some of them to come and work in some crop fields in my base. I found some willing volunteers, but goodness me, it was a pain trying to get them back to where they needed to be. They kept sinking their boats and running off in all directions. I was worried they'd fall down a ravine or get attacked by a zombie, but we did eventually make it all the way to their new home. So now we need to help them get settled in. So let's pop the book back in the shelf and head over to see how they're doing. I just got the basic shape built here and got the villagers started off. So this guy over here has got a field of carrots, and this guy over here, the idea is he needs to have a field of potatoes, because at the moment he hasn't got anything to do. So I'm going to pop down here. This is underneath where we're going to collect all the crops that they farm, and I just put all the stuff in here that I'd need for my build. So that's what I need. Lots of potatoes. And let's... Oh, hang on, I might also need a hoe, that's right, to turn it into farmland. So here we go. I've got some water under this slab in the middle, so it should all turn into nice farmland. Hello fella, would you like to get on with some farming? I can see you're you see you're keen to go already composting. Let's get some of this land planted up with potatoes. It'll take a minute to get everything going, because you won't start farming until the first potatoes actually grow. But if we can get them going, we'll stand them in good stead. Okay. Funny enough, this guy's going to grow potatoes, but he's going to buy carrots from me, which is great, because his buddy over the other side is growing carrots and is going to buy potatoes from me. I think that's right. Let me just check. Hello, hello. So look, you see he's got carrots growing down here. And do you want to buy some potatoes? Yes, here we go. Yeah, why not? Thank you very much. Brilliant. And then in the middle, we've got this little fella here who is buying my carrots or my potatoes, which is brilliant. And those guys are going to chuck their crops to him, and they're going to get sucked up in these hopper mine carts down here. And eventually, once that gets going, all of those will then, they're going to go down the copper mine carts, down here, through the pots, through the hoppers, and into these chests. So the carrot guy's been there a little while. I don't know if we've got anything in there yet. Oh yes, yes, he's already been doing some carrot farming. Fantastic. So in here, I'm going to pop those emeralds back in there. I don't need those for the moment. I don't need these dyes either. They're for the sheep later. What I am going to need is some of this dirt, and I'm going to use that for the roof, but what I actually want to do is make it a nice green roof. So I've got some moss to do that, and some bone meal to turn it all into moss. And then for the building itself, I've got some more cobblestone and some wood and bits and pieces like that. I'm going to make this a similar sort of shape to the other roofs in our village. A little bit pointy, just to make sure that all the villagers feel at home. Oh, almost fell off. Still a bit high up to be falling down like that. Now, I'm not sure actually if the dirt's going to change if it's too high. I might just make a start before I put that last one on. I may have to change some of the other ones too. Let's see. Okay, so that's done those. Has it done? Yeah, hasn't done the ones in between. I thought it would be appropriate to do a nice green roof for a crop farm. Make it nice and natural, so that they all matches with the whole farming vibe. I don't have any silk touch tools yet, so I can't do grass up here, but moss I can do. Okay, so we've got the moss in place, which is great, but we want to break that up a little bit and make it look a bit nicer, I think. In particular I want to put some ends on here, for which I want some mossy cobble. I'm wondering about a ridge on the top, a bit like the one that we did over on the gatehouse where we had stairs going all the way along. So I think that means taking down all of these. And replacing them with these. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 5, 6. A full block in the middle. And we've got some carved pumpkins to be lights. I'm going to cover them with trapdoors like we did on our starter house. That's better, a few leaves mixed in with the moss to make it look a bit more lived in. Right, that's got the villagers settled in their new home. Now, to organise those sheep. Meanwhile, over here, we have our sheep area, and I've sort of set out the basic shape you can see here of where there's going to be the barn, and then in that barn there's going to be this automatic wool farm. So I'm trying to breed up all the different colours of sheep. There are 16 colours, and I can't get all of them because as yet I haven't got green, which means that I can't have green, light green, lime green, or cyan. So we can't get those three, but we should have enough for the other 13 colours. What we'll do is we'll make the farm and we'll just have some modules that have some white sheep in, and they'll be ready for when we eventually do get all the different colours. So I've set up, as I say, I've set up the shape up here, and I've also, get out of the way, set up down here underneath. Be like in the crop farm, got things going on down below. If I can get down the hole. We have, this is the area where, again, we're going to collect all the wool. So they're going to be 16 modules like this one. So you can see we've got the things happening up there. They're going to come down through this upper minecart into the hopper and into the chest. So what I might do is go and make these one by one. I'm going to put in, there's an observer up there, I'll show you in the top in a second, which is looking at this block. So let's go up there and I'll show you what we're doing. We come back up through the hole. So over here, underground, underneath this, so this is a dispenser, and underneath that there's an observer looking at this block of grass. And when the sheep that's standing on there eats the grass, the observer will put out a signal. It will show up on this piece of redstone on the ground, which this red sheep is currently standing on. Get out of the way. Come on. So there's some redstone there, and that will put a signal into this dispenser. The dispenser will have some shears in it, and it will automatically shear the sheep. And then the wool that it chops will drop onto this thing, and it'll go down into that thing that we just showed you underneath, the hopper minecart, and suck it down into the system. And then we'll be able to open this trapdoor here and open the chest to see what we've got. So that's what we're going to make. There should be room for everybody inside. And I have to say, it's rather an expensive build, this one. If you look down here at the materials I've got ready, we've got some raw materials in here for the building, and then in here the things that we'll need. And you can see we need, so just as well we've got the iron farm, because we need all those hopper mine carts, lots of chests, lots of redstone. I'm going to use pretty much all the redstone that I've mined up. Hoppers, glass, and these observers. I actually had to go to the nether for this one. I only popped in very quickly, went in, grabbed some quartz, and came straight back out again. Didn't even do any exploring. We can do that properly in another episode. But yes, I still needed a little bit of quartz to make these observers, and redstone. And then the dispensers, each dispenser has a bow in it as part of the recipe. And so I had to head back down to the spider farm. Well, not the spider farm, the spider spawner, and fight lots of spiders to get some string. And then, all of these materials will be needed too. So, I think we're probably about there and ready to get building. So I'm doing my best to be a good shepherd to my sheep, because in today's verse Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. I know I could have got one of the villagers to be a shepherd, but the problem is, whilst they will trade you wool, they don't actually look after any sheep. In fact, they don't interact with sheep at all. I'd have to say, villagers are bad shepherds, not good ones. When Jesus spoke these words, he was in the midst of telling the religious leaders that they had been bad shepherds of God's people. Now, kings and leaders in Israel and Judah had long been described as shepherds. Hundreds of years before Jesus, the great King David started his career out in the fields looking after sheep, before eventually becoming king. David actually wrote a psalm about the fact that God himself was like a shepherd, leading and caring for his people. And we still sing versions of that to this day, Psalm 23. In the Old Testament book of Ezekiel, we find a specific prophecy that one day God would take over from the bad shepherds, those leaders who'd failed to protect and guide the people in God's ways. God declared, I will search for the lost and bring back the strays. I will shepherd the flock. So when, hundreds of years later, Jesus came and declared, I am the good shepherd, he wasn't just offering to guide and lead, he was claiming to be God. God himself had come at last to care for all those who follow him. And incredibly, Jesus' love for his followers was so great that he would lay down his life for them, for us. You see, sheep are pretty stupid. They need help. And like the silly Minecraft villagers, people tend to run from God and get into all kinds of spiritual trouble and need rescuing. The rescue that Jesus came to achieve would involve more than teaching people or leading a revolution. It would involve him dying to save his lost and helpless sheep. The book of Isaiah tells us that we all, like sheep, have gone astray. We all need rescue. But Jesus is the good shepherd who loves us, searches for us, protects us, and who laid down his life for us. How amazing. Well, I'm feeling quite pleased with how that's turned out. Just make it all look a little bit nice around here. And yeah, now that the sheep are starting to produce some wool, I made some coloured carpet to put down in front of each of them so that we can see what colour wool they're producing. And then if we look down at this one, open the trapdoor, down there we've got 36 wool from this guy. Down here you'll be able to see we've got all the chests in, slowly gathering up all the wool that we need in the various colours. Wonderful. Hello you. And these over here we've got the ones that hopefully when I get some green dye we'll be able to put the rest of the colours in. And yeah, all looking nice. And in fact, now that we've got plenty of wool, what we can do is make some banners. So I've got a couple of light blue banners that I made with the wool there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to add, first of all, some black dye with a stripe down the middle. And then we're going to add to that some white dye in a spot. There it is. Then we're going to go for some grey dye. And this is going to be the bottom half, which is going to be the ground. And then we're going to go with another black dye. This time it's going to be this one. Hopefully you can see what it's turning into by now. And then the last one is some light blue dye, and this is going to be that top half. So look, we have a sheep banner. I think we can make another one of those in the crafting table. Yeah. Fantastic. So now we've got 2 sheepy banners. Excellent. Yeah, brilliant. So I think our sheep have got themselves a pretty good spot there. And that's about it for this episode. We recruited some villagers, we made an automatic wool farm, and we thought about Jesus, the Good Shepherd. So I hope that you can join me again next time when we'll head out to do some more exploring. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye and God bless. See ya.